Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to Logan County Fiscal Court this morning. I didn't bring the COVID report up here, but we're still having several active cases here in the county. We want to still encourage everybody to wear their mask and try to keep their distance, and try to get vaccinated if you feel good about it. I know we've got several people in the community that's lost loved ones and are several struggling with different diseases, and with all that being said, Nathan's in our prayer this morning.
Sure. Let's pray. Our Father, we thank you for a beautiful day that you have made in your world. We ask that in all things we honor you in this time that we have. We ask that the decisions that are made today be according to your plan. We ask, Father, for those who are hurting today in this community and in different ways, that, Lord, you minister to them in a special way. You know every need in this place today. We just pray you supply all our needs through your riches and your glory. We believe it for good for our nation, for this state, for this county. And we trust you for all manner of good things today. We ask all these things in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Okay, let's call a meeting together with the pledge to the American flag. Attention, I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, with the court's permission, we might move a few things around just to kind of get control of everything. Now, we will have to do the first 3 or 4 things before we can start moving things around. But, and the first thing on the agenda, I guess I better get it out, is the approval of the minutes. And order number 11, there needs to be a small correction of $12 on that pay to Frank Sankara, and he's already been paid. Instead of $914.44, it actually calculated out $902.44, a $12 difference. So, and he's already been paid, so we need to make a correction there of $902.44.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented with the correction to order number 11. Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question. Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, we got the State Highway Department here, and Tim, if you'd like to come up and maybe introduce the people with you for the secondary, for the approve the rural secondary road program this morning.
Brad Hall with the Highway Department.
Okay, Brad,
One of the sections.
okay, I was thinking one of them was named Tim. The reason I said Tim, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Manager for over Logan County, and then Long is Lucas Gillum. He's the other section supervisor for Logan County, and then Raymond is one of our engineers for the section as well. Thanks for taking the time out to let us come and talk to you about the rural secondary program this morning. Raymond's passing out the notes and everything for what we've got. So for the 21-22 fiscal year for the rural secondary program, we had a projected allotment of $1,536,048. The free balance carryover from 2020 to 2021, $256,172, which brings that to a total of $1,792,220. And then the routine maintenance and traffic that our maintenance crews cover for the Logan County, that's gonna encumber $691,200. And then the judge expenses, $2,584. The flex funds for the project is $230,407. The carryover from the previous 2020-2021 carryover is $14,016, which brings out a grand total of $244,423. And so the remaining balance there are some projects that we're going to take care of within the next year in 2021, 2022. That would cover 5.217 miles of Kentucky 103, that's Chandler's Road. Those are going to be pavement repairs and resurfacing. That's essentially going from 68 and 80 to extending to Kentucky 1038 for a total of $444,784. Item number 5, also forgot to say there's a map attached that kind of shows you the locations that these projects entail in the county. Item number 5 is drainage and shoulder enhancements to the remaining 2.46 miles of Chandler Road, Kentucky 103. That would be extending from 1038 to Kentucky 79. Item number 6 would be drainage and shoulder enhancements of 4.403 miles of Kentucky 1151 Gordonsville Road. That would encompass from US 68 to Kentucky 178 Huntley Road. Item number 7, that would take around $257,823. Item number 7 would be drainage improvements to 5.112 miles of Kentucky 1293 Dunmore Deer Lake Road. That would go from Kentucky 107 to US 431 of a total of $58,632. So that's what we've got planned for this upcoming year. Also, we've got several other locations that we would be happy to use the flex funds if y'all so choose to let the state use. But we understand that there's other needs other than just the state routes as well. So I'd like to reflect in the minutes that we were here this morning. And then there's another sheet that I had. I just wanted to bring to your attention some projects that have been let to contract, that it should be completed this construction season, and some other projects that are coming up in the future. Projects to be completed this year is a section of US 431. It's a preventive maintenance project. It would be a microsurfacing treatment on the roadway, essentially from the bypass to Logan Aluminum, which would be the 12-mile marker to the 19-mile marker. Kentucky 3519 South Main Street, I think that would be from the square to the bypass. That's going to be a resurfacing project with some sidewalk ramp upgrades and improvements. Kentucky 96 Hornet Mill Road resurfacing project from the 11 to the 16-mile point. That would go from Green Downs Road to Old US 431 or Kentucky 2026. Kentucky 103, the drainage improvement project, we'll be doing ditching and shouldering, culvert replacements, embankment, from the 2.5 to the 7.8 mile marker. That would encompass from US 68 and 80 to Kentucky 1038 Plainview Church Road. Was just wanting to update you that some projects that are in process right now will be, I don't know if y'all know about it or not, but 2 bridge replacement projects on US 79. One will be located at Whippoorwill Creek and the other at Bix Branch, close to Austin there. These projects will give some added width at the bridge crossings, safety improvements, and upgrades. These projects are in final design phase and anticipate starting right-of-way acquisition this summer. The bill grants for these projects require all the funds to be encumbered by September of 2022. So our goal is to obviously have them let by the summer of next year, 2022.
Okay. The fiscal court here and the fiscal court in Todd County made a financial commitment toward that bill grant. So we're well aware of the bill grant.
Also, we've received some funding to do some intersection improvements along Kentucky 3240, which is 9th Street. And it'll be let to contract this year and hopefully completed this year. This will encompass the intersection of 9th and Main, and also 9th and Kentucky 2146, or over US 431 right there. There will be also signal and sidewalk improvements associated with this project as well. So just wanted to let you know there's going to be some traffic impacts there. We're going to have some closures and detours and stuff like that. We're looking at hopefully getting in and getting out within a few weeks. So, but it's going to pose a few issues with traffic, but overall, the end product's going to be really good. So, I thank you for your time.
Okay, one question. The flex dollars that we'll receive this year will be 244, 423, and you think that's a pretty firm number?
As of right now.
As of right now, I got to explain to the court that that 14,000 was an add-on right at the end last year, and they talked like it could be carried over to this year. So I'd already figured y'all's budget and figured your numbers, and so they kept up their promise that they would let it, add it to this year's total. But they gave us 3 different figures last year on that flex.
That's the latest that we've received, and that should be the dollar amount that we're working off of. So the carryover is, a lot of this is tonnage based, so if you end up with a little, if you have $5,000, you didn't use it, you plan on using it, it'll just carry over to the next year's program. That's kind of the same. If you look at the very top of the hours, so when that hour's out of the contract, we estimate what it's going to cost, and then that $256,000 was what was remaining, so it just gets brought back into next year to be spent again.
Okay, my question is, then on 103 from August to 1038, you're gonna completely repay that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but the remaining 2.5 miles, you're just gonna do work on it, and it won't be completely repaid. That's the way I'm reading it.
For this upcoming fiscal year, yes. We're gonna do,
Okay.
so last year when we had the court meeting, we said we were gonna do the drainage improvements from 68 to 1038. Well, that project is let and it's due to be complete this fall. And then so for this upcoming year, we put the resurfacing for the section that we did the drainage improvement. So we're gonna continue that. 103 will be completely,
In 2 years or something?
yeah,
Yeah, okay,
essentially.
I got it.
So, and the same thing for 1293, 1151. We'll do the drainage improvements, and then we'll come in with the surface treatment on top of that after the drainage improvements are complete.
I guess I just got one question. I know you said there'd be some detours, so 79 is probably going, are y'all removing bridge and then installing new bridge? Or is it gonna be close or moving over?
It's going to be in the same location half at a time. There's going to be signals used for there.
So the road will not be stopped then? I mean,
Right, the road, no, there will not be any closures or anything like that.
Okay, well, I just wondered for ginger and stuff, and then I've been asked too, so I appreciate it.
That is all still the design aspect right now, but there will be some inconvenience certainly involved with that, because you're gonna have to maintain only half the lane, half the bridge at one time, so there'll be temporary traffic signals. Hopefully we can coordinate where those two will be staged together, but that's all still in the process right now, on the design phase still.
Just give us a call, then I'll listen if the road's gonna be closed or if we're gonna delay so we can let first responders know. That's all we ask. That way we can give the ambulance, I guess, a
Barry, I think I understood your question, but you want to know if the bridge is going to be put back kind of in the same place?
Yes, sir. And he sort of said that it was, they do half at a time.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay. We, y'all ain't got any numbers on what Logan County's going to receive next year, have you?
Not that I'm aware of right now.
We ain't got those numbers yet either. So we at least need to acknowledge it, or to approve the rural secondary road program for 2021. For 21-22, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
got a motion and a second. Don't go too far, Brad, in case there's another question. Is there any questions?
No.
Okay, you can go ahead then, we'll have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright. Harper.
Yes.
Kyle. Bolden. Chick.
Yes. Okay, we need to approve the bill list and the supplemental bill list that you should have in your folder. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
I make a motion to approve the bill list and supplemental bill list as presented.
Okay, we've had a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Question? Okay, not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, treasurer report. Amanda?
Good morning. In your folders this morning, we have a financial statement ending March 31st, 2021. The finance officer's appropriation condition report, the third-party project financial statement, and a list of encumbrances for the ending of the quarter. As of March 31st, 2021, the balance in the general fund was $2,399,717.79. Road fund 884,140.45. Jail fund 429,696.05. LGEA 88,402.90. Federal grants fund $54.61. Solid waste recycling 592,078.35. Occupational tax 6,027,043.47. Life skills 153,391.43. 911 fund 120,406.34. Health insurance fund 372,754.35. Special reserve 4,181,117.36. For a total of all funds 15,248,803.10.
Move to acknowledge.
Okay, got a motion to acknowledge the financial statement, and got a second? Question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright. Harper.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
In your folders, you also have a list of budget transfers that we need to have approved today.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Okay, got a second. Any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
And I do have any cash transfers today. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, road work request, Tyler.
District 1, continue maintenance. Everything looks good. Appreciate it.
District 2, just continue maintenance.
District 3, the Terrell McIntosh Road there, will be doing the turnaround for greenhouse for Ferguson. I think it's, and, appreciate all the blacktop and continue maintenance.
District 4, continue maintenance.
Same thing, District 5. District 6, continue maintenance. Thanks for everything.
Okay, y'all heard the road work request. Is there any questions? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Questions on any of it? Okay, not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, elected officials. Mary is not here this morning, I don't think. Okay, Phil?
Morning, Court.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to give you a report this morning on the population. We have a total of 132. 73 are county inmates. 59 are state.
59?
59.
Okay,
We've gone after 6 more
okay.
state inmates.
How many's on the county side?
We've got 112 on the county side, 33 on the floor, on bumps, 4 bumps.
What's the limit on the state inmates? How many can you take?
Well, we can hold at least 80 on,
80?
80 on the state side. Of course, we're gonna have some county on some on the county side because they haven't been classified and their charges, their convictions, they'll have to stay on the county side. That's all I got. Any other questions?
I think I saw where a bill was passed to where we might get, I don't know how much money it's gonna mean, like $2 per state inmate back through COVID or something like that.
Right, and hopefully that makes it all the way through the process. I don't know, has the governor signed that yet?
I thought he had. I thought they mentioned it as one that had been passed, but I could be wrong.
Was it $2 per day or something?
$2 per state inmate per day through, when COVID started till, I'm not sure till when. but-
Okay, they have talked about that, Tyler, no question about that, but we ain't got the complete full details on it. They just talked about, what they passed. I think there's some other things in there for jail relief during the COVID.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah, I
so-
thought that was good. That was
Yeah.
good coming down.
There may be also an increase in the daily per diem as well. So we keep our fingers crossed on that. Every little bit helps.
That's true.
Hey, are you staying for 10, item 10 about your radios, or are you leaving?
I'm sorry?
A bid on the radios?
Right, we don't have any radios in our units. We need radios to be able to communicate with the 911 center.
Okay.
To the jail.
I didn't know if you were staying. Are you staying?
I am going to stay. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I was a little bit hard of hearing out this year.
All right, sorry. I just wondered if you were going to stay for that.
I am.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Steve, I've got your fee report here.
Yes, sir. That's all I got. Just acknowledge.
Move to acknowledge the sheriff's fee report.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second, to acknowledge the sheriff March fee report. Questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Crossley,
I can't hear it, but I don't have it here now.
Oh, she's calling for your.
Crosley.
fee report.
Yeah.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, anything else? Okay. All right, Scotty, I see you got a fee report.
He got a good one.
Just to make the court aware, that's the best month we've ever done.
Farm tag month.
No, it has a lot to do with the records that are coming in and that new dock storage fee that we talked about. So it's up from last March, it's up about $50,000. The same month.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, got a motion and second to approve the March fee report at the clerk's office. Is there any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle, Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Before you, you'll have I presented you with a quote. It's for our records room, it's for our plat maps. So we have about roughly 1,500 plat maps right now. What we're having a problem with is the maps are in other counties and beginning to start here. The plat maps are sticking together. The plastic folders that hold those are getting sticky. And so it was just the quality of the plastic holder at that time and the way that they're stored in that cabinet. So looking at, I've got one of these easy files already, and so I need to get one more put into play to help preserve those plat maps and moving forward. If you look at the quote, of course, I'm dealing directly with the manufacturer in California because there's no dealers close to us. What they have a program that they are doing. If you will salvage 2 of your existing older cabinets, they'll give you a credit of $1,000 a piece. So I've got that included in the quote there, about middle ways down. So basically, what we'll do is once we approve this quote for $25,1472, that includes everything that I would need, all the folders to utilize what we need to do. Then we will surplus the 2 cabinets. I'll take them and get them done away with all the requirements, and then I'll send them proof, and we'll be done. So I guess I just need a motion to approve this quote first, and then I guess we'll surplus it and move forward. A plat map.
Yeah, what is that?
A plat map is like a subdivision. It shows every. It goes through planning and zoning. It shows every property owner's property on that map. And so if an attorney comes in and does a title opinion search, they may look at that plat map to reference that property when it was recorded through the planning and zoning here in the city. But right now we work with the city with their planning and zoning board to approve every plat map that goes through that has to do with the subdivision.
I'll make a motion to approve the quote from Easy File for purchase of
And
Easy File
I'm
cabinet.
understanding before you make a motion, this is the only place you can get this.
Yes, sir.
And so that needs to be included in the motion that he's made attempts, you know what I'm talking about, and this is the only.
And I would be taking this out of 01-5010-349, which is dock storage fee for preserving the record.
Okay, go ahead, Tyler, I'm sorry.
Make a motion to approve the purchase from Easy File for a total of $2,514.72. This Easy File is the only place you can purchase this type of filing system, so.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second.
Scott, does this quote include how to get that filing system back again, this old, this new recycling?
So in our next motion, Thomas, what we'll do is we'll surplus those 2 units. I'll take them, get them salvaged, then I'll send them a copy that I have salvaged them. That's all they need to see.
Oh, they don't require you physically sending it back?
I just take it out to the, and I'll, whatever money they bring, I'll get the check back to the court on the salvages of that metal.
Okay, all right.
They just need to see proof from the salvage recycling that I have done that. That's all they need to see.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's have roll call then.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle, Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
If you'll look on the second and third page, what I've done is I went to Karen and I pulled the county stickers off of these two plaque cabinets that when I asked to be surplus, it'll be inventory item number 1576, and it will be inventory number 1814. Those are the two that are in the office with their stickers. Just asked that the court would allow me to surplus these two and to take them and be recycled out here locally.
I'll make a motion to allow the clerk to surplus inventory item number 01576 and inventory number 01814.
Second?
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, and your motion will be to allow these to be surplus and destroyed, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, department heads. Gender? Okay, Paul?
No, sir.
Nathan?
Good morning.
Told I need to preach quick, so we'll get to it. So the litter abatement program, we picked up 44 miles of trash, 1,205 bags, and 14 tires. And that was with 6 nonprofit groups and 2 jail crews working out there. We definitely appreciate all the work that the jail crews did out, and as well as the nonprofit groups. I did want to mention about our tire event, again, that we had talked about. It's been rescheduled for July 29th and 31st, the last weekend in July. The reason we did that is so that we could have better access to our sites, as well as the hope of possibly getting the labor force together. And I'm currently looking at 2 different sites. The first is behind the Ag Arena in Russellville, and I also just got an offer the end of last week about the old Climb site. You know where that is. It's actually a mulch area now owned by Jonathan Sears, and he has offered to let us use that for that purpose. And so I'm considering these sites to take a look. And if y'all want to take a look at them, you're sure welcome to do that. I appreciate any input on that. But I'm considering those sites. And as far as the workforce, definitely hopeful for the inmates to be available at that time at the end of July. But of course, if they're not, I may have to come back to you and ask for some money for some help for that, to hire some folks if the inmate labor is not available. I know the jail will do everything he can to help there, but if it's not possible, then then we'll definitely have to get some help together. So as far as our recycling center, I did want to mention I put a sheet in there too with 15 bales of recycling and 1 metal load that we had. We have been working on the center lights out there. 3 have been replaced. 3 more are not working, and they're to be replaced soon, as Mr. Ballou has the ability to leave Ballou out there. And I wanted to ask, and just kind of real quick, if they're about $300 a piece to install, and there are 4 lights out there at the center that are working, and they do use less than half the energy of the old bulbs we have out there, and if it would be okay to change the others to those LED lights that we're changing the lights to, if y'all are okay with that, just to change all our lights.
Yeah, I think those things are a whole lot more efficient than what you got out there.
Yep. And they work.
So if y'all are okay, if everybody's okay,
I need a motion, but I'm okay with that, because you're right, maybe we'll burn some half of it.
You talking about the same lights we were talking about repairing a long time ago?
Yes, sir, he's gotten to it, he's been really backed up, Mr. Blue has. And
He
he's
has
got
gotten to
3
it.
of them changed.
Oh.
And there's 3 more that don't work that need to be changed, but then there's 4 that do work that we were talking about going ahead and changing as well, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Change them all.
It's kind of a process that has to be gone through for him, but, over time, if y'all are okay, we'll get them all changed, so. Okay. I just wanted to make mention too of one other item. We had some complaints come into us about the transfer station out at Auburn, as far as the trash out front of it on Pleasant View Drive. And I know Mr. Kyle's gotten some calls and some concerns about that. And I have been working with Apex, TPM, and Scott Waste, the 2 tenants that own the transfer station. And the site has been cleaned. It does look better out there now than it has. And I'm working with them to kind of work on a plan to keep it clean. And so I just wanted to make mention that we are working on that problem. So that's what I have. Any questions?
I appreciate y'all cleaning and Dale and everybody else, because out there at the Walmart was rough.
Yeah.
I'm sure appreciate it.
The baseball team cleaned that. LCH baseball cleaned out in Hollywood. Yeah.
See Fields, the guys been working on the bypass, but I'm sure glad they're getting some of the garbage picked back up.
It's appreciated.
Nathan,
Yes, sir.
I had someone contact me yesterday about the Dennis Corner Road, and I noticed on the report, it doesn't show any bags of trash being picked up, and they were saying that there's bags of trash all up and down, and been picked up in bags, but nobody's picked the bags up, and it's been 10+ days.
When did they call you? They were supposed to have been doing it yesterday. They were supposed to have been doing it yesterday. Okay. I'll check back out and make sure they got those bags. They told me they were supposed to get them yesterday, but yeah.
She had said somebody already ran over 1 or 2 or a dog.
Yeah. I've been trying to check them as kind of keep it. The state highways, the state folks at the highway department will get those. Yeah. The county roads, I get those, but the state gets those. They're generous enough to do that for us. Sure. We sure will.
Okay, is there any other question?
It's just mind blowing to see 1,200 bags of trash picked up in 30 days.
It's the most since August 2019.
Yeah,
So,
it's just, that means somebody has threw out 1,200 bags of trash out of their vehicle.
yeah,
It's unbelievable.
it is pretty crazy.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Now's my time. I'm in a good mood today compared to what I was a week or 2 ago. We talked about that up at South Union, and I'm sure the other vestries don't realize. I threw this out where y'all can see it. Okay, here's the gate going into the dump. I'll call it the dump. There's the gate going into it. All right, I went out there last Sunday morning, Thanksgiving, Easter Sunday morning. I went out there. All right, this is the big pile here, like this. All right, they had a little pile, and I'm saying probably that little pile, somebody backed in there because they left the gate open all the time. That's what I'm complaining about. The gates were never shut. You go out there 11 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock at night, the gates are still open. I'm saying that little pile, somebody wasn't real high, probably just dumped in there and just dumped it. I measured this, I didn't guess. That little pile was 46 feet from the gate, the little pile was. And the big one was like 20 so behind. Well, now then, I sat there, and I will say this. They are shutting the gates now, because I've been in the judge's office at least twice, and Judge Nathan went up there. And I realized, you don't have the power to be telling them everything, but at least you come back to the court and tell us some of these things. Well, anyway, I've had more calls on that than anything since I've been on the court. And you think you catch me, well, I really called. But anyway, though, that gate, and I measured, that gate's 30 foot wide, so that's no problem. Then I got it drawn out. Here's 68, then you got the ditch, then you got the field. Okay, while I was measuring that gate on Easter Sunday morning, I didn't even think the wind was blowing, and I measured it, and I even brought it with me. That piece of paper just come scooting across. I laid the tape down, and I followed that, and it went all across the main highway, and when it got over into the ditch, then it stopped. And I picked that same piece of paper up and didn't even think the wind blew. My point again was that gate could have been shut, and they never had that gate. Well, see, I will say the last 4 or 5 days or so since you and the judge went up there, I understand. Well, the gate is shut now. I went out there again last night and the gate is shut. But there was no reason, and Nathan, I don't want to get on you about this. You were saying, and you wrote the people across the road because they had too many cars across the road over there. And you should. If they had 5 cars too many, you should. But I don't see how you can see that across the road and not see that mess they had there. But anyway, and I'm not trying to get on, I'm just trying to be easy on you what they were on me. But anyway, at least the gate is shut now. So y'all have done some good about it. And since then, they have picked up and you all went up and I waited over a week. And other masters, if y'all ain't been up there, and the judge went, and Nathan, well, you can't imagine the mess that was along this fence here, and it's an electric fence, so a lot of it went on the fence and went out in that field. Well, the man that owns that field, I mean, it's a state now, and their daughters don't live around here, because I knew him, he'd been raising cane before that, all that stuff out in his field. And the person who rents that now told me, and y'all know him, but most of you do, he told me, he said he was out there cutting some cedars with his mower, and said he just run over some of them pieces of plastic. He thought, well, he'd chop them up in small pieces, maybe they'd blow away, because that's all he could do if he was going over them cedars. But anyway, at least, and they still now, you asked me, Judge, they still got some stuff in that field. I went out there again this morning, and you said they were supposed to pick that up.
But they told me they would pick it up, yes.
Well, I waited.
Told Nathan and me both
But
that they would pick it up.
all that stuff, I waited over a week, and I didn't tell nobody because I wanted to see how long it'd be before they'd pick it up, and they never would have picked it up if you all hadn't went out there. It was probably still been there. But anyway, in fact, one person called me 2 days ago, and he said, that really looks good. He said, I want to know if the county picked that up. I said, no, they did. He said, well, boy, I'm glad. And the very words he said was, he said, the jailer has all he can do with those inmates trying to keep the main highway clean without having to pick up their trash. And I said, no, they picked it up. He said, okay. So, now to that. Now, you might have, did you ever tell us about the spill? Did you even know anything about the spill they had? Well,
Mr. Woodward called me, and I know he's the one that's been talking to you about that.
well, I mean,
He called me
you
about it.
drive by, you see it.
I would talk to Apex TPM about the spill, and they gave me some information about it, yes, sir. So, it was a bunch of black carbon that kind of...
Whatever, okay, I'll put it this way. They had a spill, it went across the road and over in where they had the people, where they used to have wamps, where they had the machinery. And it was toxic enough that they went in there and they took all the rock up, down to dirt. And they said they took those loads to a landfill. And anyway, now they put more rock down. And the lady that owns the property told me last week that it went into a sinkhole. It just kept, I think rain, it was raining too, and it said, so, and I'll bring it up. That was an accident, probably maybe, hopefully a one-time accident. They leave this gate open, and there's gonna be a one-time accident. The only thing I got on this gate, the way I look at it, and I'll vote, and I can't believe I voted for this the last time, but I won't the next time unless they start keeping this picked up. The only thing I got that gate's open at daytime, and if 50 pieces blow across the road, if the wind's blowing that day, then either that night or the next morning, they need to be trying to pick up 51. They don't need to lay there until there's 500-600 pieces of, and I'm talking about big pieces, y'all know what I'm talking about. It ain't coming from cars, it's big pieces of plastic, so big. So, but anyway, talk about that spill going into sinkholes. One of my neighbors, and y'all know who I'm talking about, it's been on television, radio, this, that, and the other, claimed that he killed a lot of fish because too much manure was going in. I'm not doubting this stuff into the water. I'm not doubting the state at all. Probably they was right. Only thing I wonder is, and I do doubt, I wonder if his was the only cattle in the last next 15 miles that was going into that. But regardless, that's over. But if this could be real toxic, here's the point I'm bringing up. It could probably kill more than fish. But because I don't know what it was toxic. That lady read me the letter that she got from her. But anyway, and Nathan, I apologize for being a little hard on you, but I wouldn't have as hard as they have been on me. I had people call me using choice words.
Nathan, you...
One guy calls me and he's saying, have you been to Auburn or Bowling Green lately? And I said, yeah. They said, did you ever look out over across the road? I said, I'm working on it. So,
Nathan, you got called and the judge and y'all went down there and met with the company and talked to them about it, and they said they was going to close the gate and do better and all that kind of stuff? Okay. You met with them yet, Robert Earl? Have you met with them yet over there at the station?
yeah, what?
Have you met with the guys over there at the station yet?
At the station?
At the transfer station? Oh, okay.
No, I've never been over there.
Oh, okay.
I've just been to the gate.
Oh.
They want them running me off.
Right. Well, I know Nathan and the judge met him over there, talked to him about it. Yeah.
He did. I mean, the judge went over. I called him 2 or 3 times. He said he was tied up and couldn't get out there.
Oh.
But then him and Nathan went, and I guess if him and Nathan hadn't went out there, that junk had still been piled up there.
Yeah. Maybe they'll get it worked out. Sounds like they might got something. Nathan's got something on the move on it. Hopefully he'll get it all straightened out.
Well, I do too. And I'm not going to say if they do get it straightened out and they keep it having it picked up, then I'll vote next year again for it.
Okay.
That's what I need to say.
Vote on next year after a 5-year contract.
No, what he's talking about, the permit.
Oh, pardon me.
He's talking about the permit process. Okay, any more department heads? Got anything from the ambulance service?
Nothing needs action. I just want to say the roof got completed. We really appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Good deal. That was quick.
Okay.
They did, I went out there, 3 of the 5 days that they worked out there. I think it was about 5 days total. They did a fantastic job with everything they said they would do. Now, they had not done the guttering, and I didn't look at it final other than drive by, but the in progress was top notch.
Yeah, they got the gutters put up. They went with big commercial ones. They had a huge difference. So
Got that ugly pipe in the front moved, and did a good job.
Okay, judge's announcement then for the day, April the 21st at 7 a.m. We're planning on having a common ground meeting. Locations yet to be determined, and this is to talk about the licensing of contractors and the steps that we need to do to be able to work with the cities and the different things. So
What's the date of that?
the 21st of April,
April 21st, you said 7 a.m.? Did you say 7 a.m.?
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
We had to pick a time that maybe that everybody could come, you know what I'm talking about, for a short period of time. This will just be the start of it. Russellville Fire Department will be having their annual fundraiser auction on April the 24th at 5 p.m. at the Extension Office. The Logan County Fair is scheduled at this time from June 21st to June 26th. There's a thank you letter in your folders from Logan Industrial Development Authority for the third quarter funding. And we're getting ready to hopefully start working with this American Recovery Act money. And I meet a couple of people willing to come in and meet probably at least once a week.
At the conference, they still don't know nothing about it.
Well, I
mean,
know,
they-
but we gotta start planning.
Yeah, I know. Well, they actually recommended that you don't put it in the next year's budget. You make an amendment until you know, if we don't know what they're gonna do with it, until you do a
Well,
budget amendment.
I just know that, when this American Recovery money comes out, if you don't have something halfway planned, to a certain extent, that every county and every city is gonna be looking for an engineer. Every county and every city is gonna be looking for an architect. And you got 4 years to be able to commit this to some kind of a project.
Yeah, well, I've heard
And-
several people at the conference say that they still don't have a word on how it can be spent or the details.
Well, we don't have a complete
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
But they do talk about broadband, they talk about, water and sewer projects, and they talk about, I'd have to go down there and look, what I'm talking about, But there is some suggestions out there.
Yeah.
And I didn't check with Dale Val yet at the city, you know what I'm talking about, but I did talk to Greg at Auburn Co-op.
Right.
And I think it's called something else now. And he felt like it, if we were gonna put anything broadband, it ought to be in our unserved areas.
Right.
And he's got all the information on, who can serve and who can't. And he said he'd be willing to meet with us if we're willing to put anything in the broadband expansion in the county.
Yeah, I think we ought to, maybe meet with we need to meet with the City of Russellville Plant Board and maybe Greg Hill at the same time.
Yeah.
All parties we got lots of areas that they could cover.
Mhm.
I know that we got to something about you got to put out an RFP. You can put out an RFP in order to get the broadband funding. You put out your county puts out an RFP and you get, we would have to have some help. And I think Department of Local Government, KCO, could help us with the RFP.
Well, I just know, between me and my office staff, we need some help in planning the projects. And we got to do it in a legal way.
Right.
Because there is one big red line in that act that if it's not spent properly, you got to pay it back.
Yep. We don't want to do that.
Well, I won't do that. So, I'm looking for a couple of volunteers that's willing to put in several hours. Okay, so Tyler and Thomas, if you're willing to do it, we're gonna have to, just soon as we can get something together, we do need to meet with Dale Val and Greg Hale, if all possible, okay? All right, so we'll need a motion to Thomas and Tyler to be a committee to help with the planning of the American Recovery Act fund.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, second. Is there any questions?
Just make sure y'all put that broadband out our way now.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley,
Yeah, okay, they're voting on Tyler and Thomas serving on the committee.
What? I can't hear a thing.
She's wanting to know if y'all are voting on to nominate Thomas and Tyler to serve on the committee.
Yeah.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. I'm sorry.
Scotty, Jack wants you. Jack wants you.
Let me get one person out of here before we.
Okay.
Okay, before we move into business, and I'd like to adjust a little business around so we can get a few people out of the courtroom. Let's, been so long since we had a citizen here, Mark. I've been saying this. If there's anybody that would like to address the court at this time, we set this time aside for anybody that would like to address the court this morning. And we want you to come forward, state your name, if you're wanting to address the court in some vicinity of the county you live in. So I don't know if you want to address the court or not, Mark. Okay, well, thank you for being here. Okay, let's switch to, we're going to do a lot of bid opening here after we take a little break, but item number 15 to acknowledge receipt of the Ascension Service budget for 21-22. If y'all got that in your folder, and Leanne, if you want to come up front.
You should have copies of the proposed budget for our final budget. I'll entertain any kind of questions you may have on that section.
And this particular budget is playing on the same tax rate
Yes,
that we had last year.
correct.
And I want the court to understand that it's not, this budget's not asking for an increase. Now, we'll have to deal with that later if it happens. Okay?
No, we have no intentions of raising any tax rates. No intentions.
That's good.
What about lowering them?
We'll see. I mean, we're looking at ways that we can save and different opportunities, but we also have big plans of expansions and different opportunities to serve more. Yeah, we're always ready to grow. We've got several different projects in the making right now, and then we've got a few projects that we're still in the beginning design phases.
Good. I make a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the extension office budget for 21-22.
Okay, we got a motion to acknowledge receipt of the budget from the Ag Extension District. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. Now, is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Yes. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle. Yes. Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, I've had a request to take just a short recess, so, sorry to be holding everything up, but we knew this was gonna be a long meeting. I figured we're gonna be here to, might get a little bit hungry before we get out.
You got our lunch ordered yet?
No. I can do it. Okay, Tyler, you got us turned on? Okay, court's back in session. Item old business is to discuss the cell phone plan options. And they were both presented at the last court meeting. And everybody want to take the time to check on coverage and then look at the quotes. Now, we did have one other thing come in, y'all should have got a copy of. If we go with Verizon, but they said they'd be able to use iPhone 11's phones now.
And do the free phones? The free phones?
Yeah. You should have that in your.
Is that Bluegrass or who? Yeah, Bluegrass.
Well, Bluegrass soon to be
Verizon. Okay.
Verizon.
Other than that, y'all pretty much looked at the options between that and the FirstNet. And I think, is Steve still here? Okay. Well, I think that there was some question before, about FirstNet and that emergency response. Okay.
Does anybody have questions on the deal?
I mean,
I don't really.
I don't. I mean, I think we're with Bluegrass now. Bluegrass has covered as well, and they're cheaper, and they're now giving us the free phones. I don't see why we wouldn't just stay with Bluegrass, in my personal opinion.
I agree. Good.
Steve, what we were talking about was these phones.
These what?
The cell phones is what we were talking about. And
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Should I have the question for me?
No,
Okay.
we just wanted you back in.
Okay.
Yeah, we feel safer when you're here. We feel safer.
Yeah, I mean, whatever y'all's pleasure is, put it up.
I just put a form motion and we go with Bluegrass Cellular for $413 a month, I believe is the correct
And with the free iPhone.
total per month. And then we will get the free iPhones 11s with that now. So
okay, got a motion second to continue on with Bluegrass and to include free iPhone 11s. So, is there any question? Had a motion and a second. I think the other time I gave a little rebate was just a tad cheaper, but that's okay.
We know that would get us Bluegrass, it works well. I know none of them are perfect, but it works well. So we keep on.
Okay. Any questions? If not, let's go have roll call.
Davenport,
yes.
Crossley. Yes. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay. Next item of business is open bid for treatment of black flies. So we just got one bid, but that's what we normally get. That bid is Insights. Okay, your daily cost is $750, and that's, I think that's what it's been for a number of years. And I can't remember exactly how many days we set aside for the year. I think it's somewhere like that.
It was in the teens.
750 days.
It was like $13,000, wasn't it?
And he's,
That's what I was gonna say, I don't know if did we use all the days last year?
we didn't, and that's just in there in case we need several treatments. Now, I know last year that I got very few calls, about the black flies. We got an early treatment, and actually he hadn't used any days this year up to this a week ago. And he's been treating red, little red, and he's supposed to be treating whippoorwill today. Now, I can't remember, Barry, where you was on the court when we started this or not, but the specialist that came talk to us in court,
Yeah, I was here, yes, sir.
he talked like it would be somewhere close to 8 to 9, 10 years before we started seeing the full results of this river treatment. So hopefully, we're starting to see some of those results.
19 days is 14,250. No, we upped it. Okay, Jack said we did 15, but I think we upped it. Well, it says here approximately 15 to 17 days, so.
Yeah.
If we're not using all of them, I thought it was 19, no, Mark Thomas, I thought it was 19 days we approved last year, is that correct? Well, we didn't use all of them.
We didn't use them. I think it was 17.
17? Well, let's just leave it at 17.
Does that to carry over?
And what he's working on right now is this year's. It's not, so, it'll be later, it'll be after July 1st before it gets into these.
Thomas, you need to see it? Jason?
I'm gonna put it in the form of a motion that we, approve 17 days at $750 a day to Insights for the black fly treatment.
I'll second.
Well, and accept the bid of Insights. Did you say anything about accepting the bid?
Accepting the bid, yes.
Yeah,
And the state still furnishing the supplies?
yeah. He just got a truckload last week. Okay, who seconded it?
Tyler.
Okay. All right, we had a motion second to accept the bid from Insights for the treatment for black flies for the different waterways in South Logan. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Yes. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle.
Whose district here are they in? They not in mine.
Jack.
They in you all.
Jack and Barry.
Well, if y'all are forward and too, I don't think it probably does any good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Holden,
But I'll vote yes.
Chick,
They're all in the south end of the county.
Yes. And it does make a great big difference. If you'd have went over there and performed a wedding outside in a Darrell like I did several years ago, old thing like to carry me and the bride both way. I kind of felt sorry for her. She was in a bride dress with no shoulders in it. Them things were tearing us up. I couldn't hardly say a word without breathing one in my nose or my mouth one.
I've gotten several calls this time about it too.
What do you do, just go out there and pour a bunch of stuff in? Just go out there and pour it in the water? Just,
He went to school to do that, and he was trained how to do it. You get the water. But anyhow, I don't want to get into it. I'll tell you after court. You treat
Okay,
it.
next item of business is Advanced Life Support Ambulance Service for 21-22. And we got one bid from ComCare. And I think this will be their 10th year if we award it.
I believe it's our 13th,
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
2009, our first year.
Okay.
Got my math right. If I didn't get that math right, we might want to check my bid numbers, it may be out too. But yeah, I think we've been providing services now for 12 years. This will be our 13th. 12th or 13th, I may be off. To please the court, I'd like to point out that we did include in this bid.
Let me see if I can find the price and read the price off first. You made it a little bit complicated.
Last page, number 5 on last page.
Maybe I didn't go that far.
The biggest number.
1, 2, 195, 468?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think that reflects about a 3% increase from last year. In addition, number 6, Judge, under that, 2020 has been for a lot of other programs. It's been a tough year for EMS. We had a significant drop in revenue and increase in costs. Some of those costs were costs that would be considered disaster eligible costs as defined by FEMA. We've got those listed in here in the amount from 3/3 of 20 through 12/31 of 20 of $14,716.42. These were direct COVID-related costs. These are costs that it was either material or labor that would be considered applicable for FEMA guidelines. Now, these numbers have been turned in to your emergency management agency, and there is a potential down the road that the county would get reimbursed for part of this from FEMA. But this, I would put in our bid that we be reimbursed these costs to help offset some of the additional expenses that we had during last year.
Okay, go ahead, I'm listening.
That's it. That's all I want to say. I just want to point that out. Nothing else in the bids changed. The language in number 7 is the same language we had in last year, and ourselves and the county attorney worked out the contractual language that will reflect this, and I think we've all been good with it last year and this year. So there's no other change to the bid. I hope we don't repeat 2020 anytime soon. It was a very unusual year for us.
Okay, so.
Last year was 173,000, right?
I believe that was for a partial year.
Is that a partial year?
Yeah, I had our last year's bid at 190 and change.
To begin July 1, 2019, ending in June 30th, 2020, for a total cost of $173,000 to be paid monthly payments of $14,416.66. That was last year.
Was there something in there about some kind of change or something?
What do you,
some monitors, some lease payments for monitors.
Could have been.
Read down just a little bit further, there's something about the
It says,
monitors.
on the motion of Thomas, seconded by Tyler Davenport, accept one-year agreement with ComCare to provide a ALS ambulance service to begin July 1st, 2019, and ending on June 30th, 2020, for a total of $173,000 to be paid in monthly payments of $14,416.66. The amount will not include any needed ambulance vehicles or large capital equipment, which will remain the sole property of Logan County Fiscal Court.
I was thinking that was a partial year, and that I may apologize to the court. There's a possibility there may be an error in this bid, if that's the case.
I'm like Tyler, because I remember the payments being 14, 2, 14.
Let me make sure that's the right, that's not last year. Hold on a minute. Let me make sure that's not 2018.
I referenced our 2019 bid when I started this one, so I was going by the Carol I have. But once again, 2020 was a weird year. I know we had a bid, and then I think we pushed it out for a couple
Like
months.
2019.
I'm not mistaken, and we rebid maybe. So
So that was
There was something about the monitors, if the county could get some kind of grant money forward.
I think I'm on the wrong year.
Correct. Then it would go over and y'all would do it and we reimburse y'all.
That's right, and I remember Mr. Boland talking about that, you know, the lease was a good idea because we weren't gonna charge any interest on it, but.
15,891,
Paul,
Thomas.
You can do it.
Page,
Paul, come here.
Yeah, page 5 of 11.
yeah.
But I think that's got those monitors in there, frauds.
Go down there and tell Paul to check and see what we're paying.
The monitor should have been that's about $45,000, wasn't it?
I'm
So it
sorry,
should've been-
I think that was 2019's bid, 1920.
Well, I'll definitely say if I could have made an error, and if I did, we'll fix it, but the intent was for a 3% increase.
I understand.
Okay, now, I want to make sure I understand something. This 195,468 is separate from the 14,716?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the
So you're
number
asking-
6 is a separate number that wouldn't be part of the annual bid, but would be just a one-time payment for those supplies and labor.
So, actually, we're talking $210,000 or a little bit more.
But that won't be, number 6 won't carry over to next year, let's hope it don't, because COVID seems to be, from our perspective, is diminishing significantly. You know, we're not anticipating really much more costs at all, if any, other than what's on here. So that's a one-time thing, yes. So you should be looking at a 3% increase from last year, plus the 14,716.42. 3%. We're going to be cautiously optimistic that the 2020 don't repeat in 2021. And initially, I don't think it's showing that it's going to. Last year was a tough year. Volume was down for April, May, and June significantly under what it normally is. And our costs were up. You know, normally in a business, when your volume's down, you try to adjust accordingly and your costs go down with it. We're not able to necessarily always do that. You know, we have to staff a certain level, whether the runs are there or not. And we did that. A lot of times we upstaffed due to COVID. You'd have to transport a COVID patient that normally would take maybe an hour to take to Bowling Green, or 2 hours round trip. It was taking 3 and 4 hours because of decontamination and everything else.
Right.
Okay. What I'm showing here, and this came from my office, the bid last year was $190,699.44.
That's what I had, yes.
And we're making payments to $15,891.62 per month.
Right, 190, so we went from 190 to 195,
Yeah.
yes.
So, again, basically, this bid, I was starting to say, if you paid 5, but you said item 5 instead of paid 5, you're bidding $195,468, and then plus $14,716.42.
Yes, and the bid that we put in last year, Judge, if you'll remember, I think under number 7, it listed that we had incurred at that time $20,000 in COVID costs that we would expect to be paid within the next year, and that never was addressed.
Yes, I remember that.
But that number, we were able to reduce that because we did get some assistance from the federal government later on.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept the bid from ComCare for an annual subsidy of $195,468 payable 12 monthly payments of $16,289, and a one-time Logan County emergency management due to COVID emergency, $14,716.42.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question. Okay, looks like roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yeah.
I want to thank the court for 12 years of service, and we're looking forward to hopefully 12 more.
Thank you for what y'all do.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next item of business is annual bids. It looks like we got the blacktop people here, so we'll take the blacktop on first, or the hot mix. Looks like we got 3 bids. Looked like one came in from Scottish Contracting. We got RB Road Builders. Is that the other person that's here? Yeah. And then we got one from DeWeese. Okay, the first one I'm opening up is DeWeese. And what he's quoted, you want to pass them around? Yeah, I think there's several sets of it there. 2 pages. What DeWeese is supposedly bid: asphalt base, FOB from plant, and I guess that means that we pick it up at the plant. $55 a ton. Asphalt service, FOB plant, $60 a ton. Asphalt base in place on roadway, $64 a ton. CL2 asphalt service, in place roadway, $70 per ton. And it also mentions in here that it be increased and decreased by the cost of asphalt cement. I guess that's oil. How many did we get? How many different? Did everybody get a copy?
Yeah, everybody got a copy. And so, you want a copy, Paul?
Okay, the next one is Road Builders. Okay, Tyler, do you want to distribute these? Okay, hot mix base, picked up at the plant, it's $64 a ton. $64 on hot mix surface, FOB at the Greenville plant. Hot mix base placed on road, $65.99 a ton. Hot mix surface placed on road, $65.99. Strip patching and continuous area using less than 200 feet of 200 total tons is $90 per ton. And okay, and then it said that this could go up and down based on the Kentucky DOT average price index. So it leaves room there for the liquid asphalt adjustment. Everybody got a copy? Scottish Contract. need to make sure he sent enough cards for everybody to have a card, so I just did my card. Okay, and it looks like in place hot mix asphalt paving includes stack all. Surface, $60.48 a ton. Base, $59.50 a ton. Patching, a continuous area less than 50 tons, $96 from the plant. If I'm understanding this right, hot mix asphalt picked up at the plant. Surface will be $64.78 and base $61.67. This bid also fluctuate with CPI on oil with public transportation cabinet. So that's the three biggest we got on asphalt.
So, I mean, Deweese is, as far as the base, pick up at the plant, it's $55 a ton. That's the cheapest on that portion, right?
We don't pick up at the plant.
We don't pick up the plant though, do we?
No. In place is what,
So we can work that out.
oh,
So, I mean,
Scotty.
yeah.
Based off the three bids we got, Judge, I make a motion that we go with Scotty's Contracted and Stone for the price as presented in their bid.
Okay, and that's because of,
And that's because they're the cheapest bidder.
okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, got a motion and second. Now, is there any question?
Appreciate the other bidders.
Yes, sir.
If not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, first thing on your annual bid list is fuel. We did get two different quotes today, bids. One from Max Auburn and Son, the other from Seven States. I'm opening up Max Auburn. Make sure they're the same. Okay. Scotty, if, not Scotty, but Tyler, you want to pass these around?
I hate my legs starting to wear out on me. I'm getting old. Thank you, sir.
And we got one from Seven States.
yeah, you can get them one.
Judge, did you keep one from Max on?
I got one.
I'm not
Okay, and there's a Seven States bid.
I don't even know why we do this. Yeah. Yeah.
Saying you ain't getting it right in that tractor?
Is that it, the two bids? For fuel?
Make a motion to accept both bids.
We can't, Tom?
Reject the bid and allow the judge to negotiate with whoever the fuel price.
Okay, basically, the motion would be to reject the bids and allow me to negotiate with both bidders, since we feel like we need more than one provider of fuel.
That's right. The location.
I'll second that.
Now, what are we doing again now?
We're rejecting the bids and allowing the judge to work with the two bidders to provide the service, so we can work with both of them and not just one of them.
That's what I want.
Sometimes one might be closed, or, you know, we limit ourselves if we just choose one person.
One month, you could go one, next month, and there you go the other.
Okay, so we'll look back at last year's motion, but basically, since the fiscal court feels like there's a need for a second supplier, that we're gonna reject both bids and allow the county judge to negotiate with both bidders, to see if they will work with us in a way that they've done in the past. So, and we had a second, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
There's
sitting
our,
here wondering how I was gonna vote, you know what I'm saying, I'm taking, yeah.
okay, is there any questions? Did you get a copy of the second?
Yes, I got both of them.
Okay. If there's no question, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, tile and pipe. Y'all can see that we sent it to a lot of different places.
I think there's just two.
There's two, Hagan and
So they
Stone.
would be in the same pile, so.
Okay. Okay, look like we got two bids. The first one is from Metal Culverts Incorporated. Big envelope, just have one envelope in it. Well, this is pretty simple, it look like. It's got no bid, no bid, no bid, no bid. All right, down through there.
That's easy enough.
If you want
No. Open the next
to
one.
testify,
Wait a minute. The reason they're doing that is because steel prices, I'm sure. So we probably need to wait and do, because we usually do the same thing. One of them will have cheaper price on one pipe than the other. So we probably need to do the same thing on this we did the fuel.
But it's almost, they elected not to bid.
Oh,
Like, they didn't bid them.
they didn't want to bid on it at all?
Everything he recalls says no bid.
Don't bid.
okay, y'all wanna look at that. Be sure Janice gets it.
No bid.
For pipes, drainage pipes, tiles, which
The one out of
metal,
Missouri,
metal.
corporate Midwest sales, we used them
Hagan Stone,
Stones that we buy them all from.
Oh, you know.
That company there is a high,
Okay.
They wasted that.
They just wasted.
That was a FedEx.
That was a FedEx next day.
well, they have some.
just got one copy of this from Hagen Stone,
One with zero.
but they did bid. And it's different prices, the 12 inches is, 12 inch 16 gauge is 21 feet, $21 linear a foot, and connecting bands $21. It basically follows the pattern all the way to, all the way through the different size pipes. So, Hagen
I
Stone.
just thought they did put a price in there.
You already sentences at the bottom, two sentences at the bottom, explaining what they did and why they did.
Why?
Due to
Due to
steel.
allocation steel, they can't just read it.
Metal Culverts Incorporated is submitting a no bid due to steel allocations. Please include us on your bid list for future quotations.
Probably because we were low to no used customers. What, you know, they can get for the service or
Is that that's the only other bid you got for
That's
that?
all I've bid I got.
Okay.
That too.
All right, well, we might as well, roll on with that then, eh?
Do that.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to picture it.
Y'all want to see it? Okay.
There you go.
I make a motion to accept Hagen and Stone Wholesale's bid as presented due to the fact that they was the only bidder.
Well, there's only one that submitted.
They're the only ones that submitted a bid.
The other company didn't submit.
Somebody second you?
No, they didn't.
I'll second it. Oh. Oh, don't. Meeny, meeny, miny,
Who
moe.
seconded it?
Tyler.
Don't matter.
I thought it was going to die, dude, in another second.
Do they stick with this same price the whole year?
They did, I think.
I mean, not unless it says otherwise.
Yeah, they're not like the asphalt, I believe they stick with their price. Don't they, Judge?
What's that?
Let me see the quote, Mr. Kyle. Let me see the quote, and I'll tell you. Unless there's language in there that otherwise states.
Don't look like we got a bid for coal mix this year.
Is that bad?
Go Lowe's.
No, looks like it, there's no provisions in there that they have a fluctuation in price based on availability or
Yeah.
material, raw material costs, anything like that.
They stockpiled up with that, that's 2 or 3 years.
Okay, let me see that bid, just a second.
Code range memberships are due. You want one
I already paid you.
this year?
Huh?
For this year? They renew every April 1st.
When did I did it a few months ago. I see what my membership card says. You gave me a
Yeah, I
card.
think you did in the summer.
They wrote polymer coated.
It was after summer.
Okay, I'll look.
I'm okay.
She said.
I mean, I'll do it. It don't matter.
Coated, that's what it says on both of them, actually.
We have nothing to do about that now.
Okay, well, we had a motion to accept, the one company that bid, and we had a second, right?
Yes, Tyler.
Okay, and no other questions, let's have roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Crossley. Wright.
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, Rock? Hanson Aggregate's the only bid we got.
Paul, is our price from Hanson, is it the same as a walk-in customer?
No, we want that back.
Do we?
A little bit, yeah. It's not even a big deal, big lot.
Okay, it looks like at Hanson Aggregate, at 23s are 11.45 a ton, 8s are 15.50, 11s 15.20, 4s 11.50. Channel line 14.05, 57s 12.70, DGA 10.50. Plug DGA 11.50 a ton. Commercial DGA 9.75. 6 10s, and that's one we use most of, I think, is 10.50 a ton. Quarry Run is
watch out, Barry,
9.2.
Gary. You're about to hit the floor.
And CI Sam 14.60 and Ag Lime 11.30 a ton.
What do we use the most of?
All of them tell me.
57s,
Cords are out.
610s?
Is this the only bid, Judge?
That's on the bid.
Make a motion to accept Hanson's Ag, stone as presented. Road, you think we're going better? Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any question? Not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business, we didn't get a coal mix bid that I can see here. We might have to put that back out, because I know we're gonna need some coal mix.
Yeah, we're gonna make some.
Does Scotty's not do cold mix? We can't buy from Scotty's. We can't buy cold mix from Scotty's?
Well, they just do some for themselves.
Oh.
We could, but they're a lot higher than Marathon. We just have to get some quotes if we buy it.
I think if you advertised and didn't get anything, that would just give you the leeway to go find your.
Okay, Ricky, thank you.
What's that now?
I think if you advertised it and didn't get anything, that would give you the leeway to not necessarily have to bid it again, but just go and find the best
Yeah,
price.
you'll find the best price.
Yeah.
Marathon has had a shake, they got different people in charge, and they didn't get to bid it out. And, as far as the pipe, they didn't bid plastic this time because it was so high that they didn't do it. So if we do plastic pipe, I guess we'll have to be quoted. We do plastic, we'll do plastic.
Okay, we got bids here on tires and industrial tires. First bid is Raven Tires. Raven Tires.
Do we reject these and then?
Some of them might have a backhoe tire, the rest of them don't have that tire, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, and they sent us back the notice of bid. And they just sent one sheet for industrial and passenger road tires. And there are different prices that we're gonna have through there according to the size of the tire.
Put the only bid?
Well, now we got one more bid.
Oh, okay.
Trembles, Trumbull Tire Company. They got bids here for the sheriff, DTF, and ECC. And also they got a bid here for road and solid waste, different size tires, and then industrial road tires. And I'm sure somewhere in that mix that we got the jails.
Copy for each.
Tire size in there.
Thank you. Yeah, looks good.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you already got one.
Yeah.
Where's the extra?
That's all. There's two.
Two.
There's one single sheet coming from Raven. Do what?
Trimble and that's Raven. Raven?
Raven.
R-A-V-E-N?
Might be the shipping.
Might say on your
They, I think they got a place in
Central City.
Central City and a couple other locations fairly close.
Do we, if those bids, do we have to go down there and get them then?
Yeah. I mean, he's cheaper on up there.
Well, but Trimble don't have stuff that Raven has, and Raven don't have stuff that Trimble has. So if you just accept one, you need a certain backhoe tire or something.
I got you.
That's what we did last year.
Let's do it to it.
That's the foot over again.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's mailing.
There you are listed on there. I just looked down at the different little sections.
We only get 2 bids.
That's the only 2 bids we got. I think last year we had 3 bids. We had Bowling Green Tire Company and Raven and Trumbull.
Yeah, I hope we get that one from over again, but they didn't bid. So that's good, we get both, reject both of them.
Make a motion to reject both bids and allow the judge to negotiate with the 2 bidders to, whichever one is the best price on that size tire, go with it that time.
Second.
Is it passenger and
It was
industrial or one or the other?
Basically what I did, Thomas, last year we called them all up and asked them if they would honor their bid and work with the county, as far as, when I say work with the county, bill us, and, let us make payment real quick as we could. And that's basically what we're done. We just called both companies.
Do you like them both? Okay, I'll know.
Okay, we had a motion. Do we have a second?
Jason, second.
You
Jason,
second?
Jason, second.
Oh, Jason did. Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, cleaning supplies. We got one bidder.
One bidder on one.
cleaning,
Cleaning supplies.
cleaning supplies,
Danny Bash.
cleaning supplies.
He leave.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I got it. I mean, how much cleaning supplies we need? A whole lot.
You're fixing to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole county buys it. The whole
It's
county
like
buys
towels,
it, you know, with the
toilet paper, all
Justice
that
Center,
stuff.
the jail, the sheriff's office,
We
up
can go to
here.
Walmart with somewhere to pick up. if you need.
Probably used a whole bunch of extra this past year, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a bit of
We
this
got
one,
to
we're
go
going
through
to.
and
Yeah.
plastic bottles to throw away.
And I think this guy, he delivers, don't he?
Yeah.
He delivers and keeps us stocked as we need them. The judge don't have to run to Walmart every time we need paper towels.
What is that there for 2 or 3 days anyway? Yes, sir.
Judge, you got one?
Yeah.
The best one, cleaning one?
Make a motion to accept the bid, SI, for janitorial supplies.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question.
Glad we got to that.
Yeah, I'm for this, but I just don't see how those kind of people like this can bid on that for the whole year and stick with that price, not knowing what it's gonna do.
Well, occasionally, sometimes something happens. You know what I'm talking about, you know. And if it does, if it does do it, we go out to market. So, I'll downstairs, checks the invoice and checks their bid price on everything.
It's a lot of work.
So,
It's a lot of work.
It is. It is.
all right, we have a second to that motion. then.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle, Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business. Annual bid for yearly plumbing and maintenance at the jail. And I'm taking for granted this is a bid, that isn't.
I'd say so.
If it's not, I've embarrassed myself for holding it 10 days. I was afraid to open it when it came in. That's what it looked like it is. Okay, it looked like the hourly rate by Stuart Ritchie is $85. Overtime rate's $127.50. This is hourly. Sunday and holidays, $170. Spall drain machine, $55 an hour. Large drain machine, $75. Hydrojet, $600. Sewer camera locator, $300, and there'd be a trip charge of $20. And this is from Stuart Ritchie.
Make a motion to accept the Stuart Ritchie bid for the plumbing services needed at Logan County Jail.
Second.
Who seconded?
Tyler.
Okay, well,
Positive that's the same number it was last year. Does that sound about right?
Is it certain things can happen that you wouldn't have to call on holiday? Is that right? You could wait for the next day?
Exactly. We try to make sure we don't call.
I'm just going for what he said, you know.
We try to fix a lot of the plumbing issues inside the jail ourselves. The bigger job, we just can't handle.
Of course, I know there can't be, maybe something got to be fixed at.
Yeah, we use the plunger when we can.
Even on holidays?
Even on holidays, we got a holiday plunger.
Yeah. That turkey and dressing.
okay, we had a motion and a second to accept the bid from Stuart Ritchie. Is there any questions? Or any more comments? Not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is a knowledge receipt of report of audit of the sheriff's settlement of 2019 taxes for a period between April 16th, 2019 to May 15th, 2020. And y'all should have a copy of it in here.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the report for the audit of the sheriff's settlement taxes for 2019 for the period of April 16th, 2019 to May 15th, 2020.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, let's, if it pleases the court, let's switch down to number 10, in case, I don't know whether Phil wants to leave or not, but to approve to advertise for bids on the radio equipment needs at the jail. And basically, the reason for this, he did get a quote from one vendor. But that vendor, we're already spending over $30,000 a year with, so we're gonna have to put it out for bid. Now, that vendor could be the only bidder when we put it out for bid, but he's looking for, Phil, if you wanna come up front, equipment to go in some of his vehicles.
Would this not fall under our deal with our new guy, that he would be the one to?
Anything equipment-wise, it's gotta be a public bid since we're spending over $30,000 with him.
Okay.
Now, he very well could be the bidder.
Okay.
Is the $30,000 we're spending with him, that's for service and maintenance? Does that really have anything to do with parts?
Well, yeah, because you're still issuing a check to
Okay.
Wilson Communication.
In his bid, I guess in his bid, he spec'd out what you wanted though.
And he spec'd out what he thought we needed.
Yeah. So, I mean, when the bid goes out there, it'll be spec to, everybody be bid on the same time.
Apples to apples.
Yes. Okay.
So,
And why are we bidding? Explain to me again, why are we bidding this?
He's saying, because Wilson Communications, since we're paying him to do the maintenance of our radio system, we're already spending over $30,000 with him, that we have to bid it out because we're already spending more than $30,000. I was kind of wondering if it was parts, it would be a different venue, a different thing, but maybe not.
Well, are we talking about equipment to operate the radio system, or are we buying the radio?
buying radios.
Because we can buy equipment, even though his bid was exceeded $30,000, because his bid that we accepted says it's this amount of money plus equipment, okay? So we accepted that, you know, so.
Well, you
if
can't-
he buys equipment, we don't have to put that back out for bid just because he's over $30,000, because the bid
Yeah,
stated.
we've got to do that.
No, that's not right. His bid that we accepted says we can provide these services for X amount of dollars, plus you pay for the equipment.
Yeah, but for us to pay for the equipment, we got to put the equipment out for bid.
I don't think Joe needs to research it. That's not right.
We run into this in several places around the county. You know, it's just like, we can get, quotes to fix a vehicle, but once we cross $30,000 with one, auto, repairs shop, then we got to put it out for quotes.
I think I was under the impression that we had to use him to install the equipment, but he would have to bid on it just like everybody else. Even if he didn't get the bid, he was still the one to do the labor side of it.
His quote said, we accepted, and that came from the group. His quote said, here's how much my services are, and any equipment that needs to be purchased is extra. It is on you know, and we accepted that. So if he charges $50,000 for his service, but he had to go buy a $2,000 part to put up a TV antenna, we don't have to rebid that because we accepted that as part of his quote. It was $50,000 plus equipment. You know, now we did question him, when you purchase equipment, you will get quotes to make sure that we're getting the right stuff at the best price. And he agreed that he would do that. He would get a quote or two, make sure it was the right stuff and the right price, and that's what he would submit to be replaced. So let's take a TV antenna for a radio antenna. We had to go buy an antenna. We don't have to put that antenna back up. Well, I mean, that was part of his service.
I've got him getting another list of equipment that he needs. We just can't.
Personally,
Isn't that right, Joe?
I think it would be better to bid this one since it's one specific thing that's going over $30,000. And I'm not really sure how this factors in, but this does seem to be.
Well, this don't stack up nowhere near $30,000.
No.
But we're just saying,
So like West Communication is saying, since we're already paying him more than $30,000, but we're paying him to do the maintenance and maintain the radios, that we have to put it out for bid because we're already paying him more than $30,000, but it's not really for parts, it's for another, we put something else out for bid, which was putting out for bid for maintenance and maintaining our radio system, and he got that bid. But since we're paying him to do that, he's saying that, you know, it's over $30,000, so we have to bid out parts because it's over $30,000. I don't know if that makes. Yeah, I know.
So, what Judge is describing.
I mean, he's gotten two.
We got two separate subjects maybe going on that I'm pulling together, so let's take them apart. The radio maintenance contract is over $30,000, and we accepted that, and there's a provision in there that we are responsible for the equipment. If we have to buy equipment, Logan County Court has to pay for it. So if he goes buys a boat that's $2.15, the way Judge is describing that, because his contract's over 30, I gotta bid out that $2.13 boat.
I think if we're buying the equipment, it would be just like if he had to get tires, or if we had to get tires, we bid that one thing out. But unless that one thing falls below the 30, I don't know that we would have, I don't know, see that we'd have to bid it, but, I'm still getting caught up a little bit because I thought we were just talking about the first contract with ECC. So he's accepted a second bid or a second quote.
Well, what we're dealing with at the moment, Jeff, you explain that.
Well, what brought this up is we have a contract with an individual, okay, for the money. It's over $30,000. Well, he has an amplifier to go out, like an amplifier goes out at Auburn, and we need to replace the amplifier. He can't just go buy the amplifier without getting quotes or putting it out for bid, because he's already above $30,000. If he needs a coax at Lewisburg, he can't go buy the coax and bill us for it because he's over the $30,000. That's the conflict that we're getting into.
To me, it would seem that it's purely a matter of, let's just take him out of it. My
Okay.
understanding is, what you're saying is we buy it and then we give it to our contractor.
Okay, but
Okay,
he gets
contract.
quotes, and he's one of the guys that has the quote, then we're buying it from him, so that automatically throws him getting more money over his $30,000. There was another scenario, I dug into it a little bit. There was an outfit that we buy stuff from, and it's not radio related, but we buy stuff from. Well, they're up to the $30,000 mark. Their bid is cheaper than state bid, but we no longer can buy it at this level because we're at $30,000, so we have to pay state bid, which is higher, and I'm having a hard time justifying that. We need to be doing the best we can with our funds.
I agree. I mean, the reality of what we're in, I would agree with you, but they keep getting.
He gets buzzed on the audit. I mean, it's in an auditor deal. I mean, the judge is telling us what's gotta happen, and the auditors are writing the judge up.
Yeah.
So, how do we correct that? I mean, I'll leave that alone, because that was another scenario. We bought $30,000, then we have to pay more money because we pay $30,000. They're the cheapest bid, and they have the state bid as well. So we have to pay extra money, but the state bid is okay.
To me, the safest thing would be to advertise those if it doesn't, unless we're spending a lot of money advertising, does it really hurt us that much to advertise it?
We're spending some money, not, you know,
My thought is, when I said take him out of it, it would be analogous to when we buy stuff for the ambulance service. If it's over $30,000, we bid that out, and they come to court and do that. If it's under $30,000, we let them bring quotes, similar to what we've done with the drug task force. I think the problem with him is that he is bidding, he is participating in the bids and quotes he's bringing to us. So I agree, it doesn't feel like we should have to. I mean, if you don't want to, we can roll the dice and see what he says. If you want to keep him from getting dinged,
Well, I
that's
don't
why.
want the judge to get wrote up by the auditors, or the court to get wrote up by auditors, but it just, if we have an issue with, it's easier to say with radios, if we have an issue with the ambulance and the motor goes down and we're up at this thing, they have to replace it. I mean, we can't go 2 weeks and then bid it for another 2 weeks.
I agree with you, but this scenario here that's complicating it for him, you all, is when the ambulance service brings us those quotes, they're not also telling you, I've got a motor, and I want to submit that as one of my bids and quotes. So fairness and transparency, that they would probably flat on it and write him up if we don't give it something more transparent.
well, getting written up is not what I'm scared of. Last year, I had to reply to 2 or 3 different federal grants. They wanted to know why we were written up. You know what I'm talking about, you know? And that was back when we were accepting 2 fuel bids. You know, what stuff like that, you know. And I got wrote up for that, so I had to reply to 2 different federal agencies. Have you corrected this yet?
My thought would be, under the scenario we're talking about comparing it to the ambulance service, would be we don't make the ambulance service bring us every tire bid, because we've already got a tire bid. But the problem is if he's participating in these, and how frequently is this going to occur?
With the radio system, probably pretty frequently. I mean, because we're updating, and we're doing relicense, and there's equipment that's got to be replaced. I mean, it's okay, but I just wondered how do you fix the problem?
I thought it would be to be safe to go ahead and bid it during the term of this contract, but
definitely need quotes, but it's just throwing the conflict in. But with Phil's situation, which he's standing up there patiently waiting, has nothing to do with it, because we're fixing to bid it out. He's fixing to open up for bid, but it sort of brought down the issue that was addressed to me last week or so, about how do you continue to update it if I can't buy the parts?
You and I keep talking about the issue,
Yeah.
and we see what we can do, because I thought we were.
No, this here is totally different, because he's throwing it at going out for bids, so this was a totally different deal.
That was what was confusing me. What my response was, I don't remember Phil ever being involved in our prior dealings with ECC, so I didn't, so I was trying to figure out how Phil's issue would be under our original quotes. No, that's okay.
But Judge brought it up that one of the guys that we're quoting on this is already above his $30,000, which is what sort of brought that around.
Okay.
So, but we're trying, the radio systems, to my knowledge, are improving drastically. We want to keep it that way.
I could be wrong, but my thought would be if you got quotes from two separate people for two different things, but you ended up paying over $30,000, that wouldn't be a problem. But they might see it differently. But Thomas is a roofer and he's a plumber, and he does $15,000 worth of work on one of our roofs, and then he separately does it on a quote on the jail plumbing. I don't see that being an issue, but maybe the auditor does. They seem to find new stuff every year.
I guess my only question, again, separate issue from what Phil was patiently waiting on. We accepted a quote from Wilson Communication that exceeded $50,000. We got two quotes, both of them exceeded the $30,000 threshold. Put it out for bid, two quotes, we read, reviewed, and made a decision on which one we felt like was the best for the price, and, we felt like Wilson was the best, and we felt, and the price was significantly cheaper. But his price, part of his pricing that we accepted, and I don't remember the number, but let's say it was $54,000, paid monthly, just like the bid for the ambulance service. It's $195,000 paid monthly of $14,000 or $16,000, whatever it was. His read the same way, just different dollar amount.
Yeah.
But it said, you are responsible for paying for the equipment replacement. So if I gotta buy an amplifier, and that amplifier is $200, I will be submitting a bill for $200. And we agreed to that. The only thing we did ask for clarification, when you have to buy these parts, especially if they're significant parts, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 parts, that you are receiving more than one quote to make sure that we are getting a fair price for the right product, and he agreed to do so. What the judge is saying is we can't do that because his contract is over $30,000. So we call it a supplement in my business, any supplementing invoicing that you do has to be put out for bid. I don't think that's correct.
I think some of the issue could be just with the way, I didn't foresee he was going to be submitting his own equipment through this process. Maybe that's why I'm saying we can clean it up next time. I would also say when we're dealing with the ambulance service and people like that, we view them as being under our same policy for purchases. And so you all have changed that to up what those prices are. So the scenario wouldn't be quite as bad as what you're saying, because we have the authority to buy stuff at a more minimal amount without coming to the court and involving you all. But it's once it hits that $1,000 or $2,500 threshold, that's where it's going to be the pain in the back. But again, I agree with you. I'm just, if that's what he's worried about, I can't say that he's wrong in that, because I think they could see, hey, you're writing 300, $100 checks to this one guy, and that's over $30,000. This should have been bid, and if he's worried about that impacting us on other stuff, I think it just gets us to the the bigger stuff where it'll be the issue, but, I didn't know this existed, so that's why I'm gonna keep working with Barry and we can deal with Bill's issue immediately, right?
Phil's gonna be still.
Sorry, Phil.
No, it's okay. We were trying to get you out here quicker. Yeah, it's okay. I appreciate this.
All right.
I guess for one last thing, I just know, just when you're digging through that, it'd be interesting to see what the auditors and the lawyers say about that, because we accepted those terms. And I guess for me, as the person who
I
voted
think
to accept that, I don't expect, if I was Wilson, I would be mad if I had to go out there, amplifiers broke, come back to court, I need to get an amplifier replaced. Okay, get us 3 quotes, get 3 quotes, we advertise it for bid, we get 3 quotes, then we vote on it, then he orders it, then he goes back and he puts it in. First of all, it don't make no sense, because we're dealing with emergency service.
If we're dealing with,
Second of all,
if we're dealing with
he's gonna
any,
charge you more the next time this quote comes up, because it took him 6 times longer to do a job than he could have done in 15 minutes.
I never heard he was a parts provider until months after that, otherwise, I mean, I can see where that.
I don't think all parts he's,
But that's what I'm saying, I think, that you said in your scenario, a threshold that the amplifier was $200, he just bills us for the $200 would be my thought, so it's the stuff that's
that's what the
higher,
contract says.
above 1,000, or the stuff that is in our name, that's the stuff where it's on us to.
Steve,
What if it's something we need tomorrow?
That goes under emergency.
We have emergency.
That's
We
emergency.
don't need to be waiting for 4
We have
weeks.
emergency powers where we can fix those things quicker.
hope we
That's
still
emergency.
have them.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know, we got the emergency.
They didn't take them all away from us.
All right.
Like I said, we need to be fair to Wilson and let him know he can't do what the contract says he can do. You need to be telling him now, so you can't do that. I just know somebody provides services like this, you can't make 11 trips for a dozen eggs, And if you wrote a contract and agreed to those terms, and you ask them to be fair about it, hey, just get a couple of quotes before you just go purchasing equipment, and he's done so.
It just matters whose name property's in. The auditors don't care how our contract's gonna be written, they care how much we're spending on an item, and whether that's $30,000 or not, or whatever the whole process is, so.
I guess that contract's down there in your file, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. If y'all wanna go get, her to go get the contract and read it, but I just know what the auditor is watching for. And I know it just don't affect this, it affects federal grants when they put something in that audit.
All right.
Well, it's not an emergency, so.
I go ahead. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
'cause we're gonna put this out for bids. I mean, you're just requesting bids, so just go ahead. I mean, go right ahead.
All right. Thank y'all.
Okay, make a motion.
I'll make a motion that, Jailer Gregor gets bids for his radio equipment.
I'll second it.
Okay, let's have a roll call while we're somewhere.
He's gonna send a bid out for radios. He's needing some radios. Two-way radios.
Oh, we ain't talking about the same thing.
No, we're talking something different.
Gotcha.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Thank you, Ford.
Jack requested 5 minutes.
5 minutes, you wanna take another little break in? Okay, we'll go ahead and recess for about 5 minutes.
Yep, 2 large pepperonis.
Go down there and find that contract if you can.
Where are we at? Did we, we're, okay. We have ahead of. the whistle goes off, my stomach starts really growling.
Okay, every year we have to have a LGEA and a CRA hearing, and we advertised it, we were going to do it today. We just need to have a motion that we held this hearing.
I make a motion that we held this hearing.
I'll second it.
For the LGA and CRA.
Whatever that means.
The public hearing was held on a certain date.
We did it.
Sure did.
Okay, we got a second?
Second?
Okay, is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is the public road hearing for the purpose of adding 390 feet and removing an old parcel of 40 feet to J. Epperson Road from the county road system. Again, we're adding 390 feet. It'll be a new entrance to the road, what it will be, a safer
Somebody
entrance.
over there.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
And then we'll be removing the old entrance of 40 feet.
I said there's somebody over there wanting to talk to you about it. I'm just messing with you.
Paul said it was all good. He said it was all good, so I'll second that motion.
Good deal.
Okay, got a motion and a second. They'll go ahead and they got to come up with a deed, okay?
Yeah, I still didn't get a D for.
Yeah, the cat, that's what it is. Paul didn't measure it. That's how come I didn't measure it. They
Okay.
measured it. 390 and take that 40.
Okay, the motion been made to go ahead and add this 390 feet and remove 40 feet of J. Epperson Road from the county road system. And we had a second. Is there any question? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to acknowledge receipt of the Mud River Conservancy District and the Logan County Conservation District budgets.
Can they be done together?
Huh?
Can they be
I
done?
think we need to do them separate.
I make a motion to acknowledge the Mud River Conservancy District budget with no changes.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second.
I'm sorry.
Tyler,
I didn't
second
know.
it?
Tyler.
If Barry can if he wants to. I didn't know he was.
Yep, Tyler seconded. Okay, is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. As we, the next one is the Logan County Conservation District.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge the Logan County Conservation District budgets as presented with no changes. Tax rate.
Okay, got a motion and second. Now, is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Next item of business is to approve an easement for school bus turnaround at 4363 Plainview Church Road.
Make a second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any question? Not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden, Chick.
Yes. Okay, the Next item of business is to approve the transfer of a desk from the PVA office, and we thought if we get into the IT thing, it'd just be a desk that would work out for the IT department, and they was wanting to move the desk out. So we need to make this transfer.
Make a motion to approve the transfer of the desk from PVA to the IT department.
Second. Did we put that job out?
No, we haven't.
When are we doing?
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question.
Guess when we approve the salary schedule.
Not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright, Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item is discuss contribution to fund for future parks and recreation projects in the fiscal court year's budget, fiscal year 21-22. And y'all should have a copy of the last year's motion. I know it was mentioned that, they'd like to see that done every year, but that wasn't in the part of the motion. Y'all did get a copy of that motion, then?
Yes.
So just going back to my request was done there, I guess my initial request is that have its own line item, and I guess for timing issues, you were kind of against creating just a set of line item, but that we could
Well-
set that line item this year in this upcoming budget. So I'd like to see that 250 in its own line item, and I would like to see that again included in this upcoming budget. I'd like to see that dollar amount increase, but, I'm just happy that we funded 250 this fiscal year, and that we would do another 250 next year. That was my intent, was that we do a minimum of 250 and let those funds build up. So when and if we do have a project, those funds are available for us to use, and it's a little easier pill to swallow to do a $500,000 or $1 million project when the money's already in there. And, so, I leave that open for y'all's discussion, but I'm happy to do, considerably more than 250 in the upcoming budget year.
Well, we got, what we're doing this for is for budget purposes, Thomas. And we don't even know how the budget's gonna fall out yet. You know what I'm talking about, for sure.
So you're not really worried about the amount right now, just that you want to know the amount right now, or are we
Well,
going
I
to
won't know what to put in the budget. What y'all expect to put in the budget.
Oh, okay.
So when we look at our appropriation fund sheet, and it's got like the 911 fund, the health fund, the special reserve, occupational tax, you want to see this
So
on,
there is 250 in this year's budget. You just don't see that line item.
You want it-
It says future, how do you word that, future Parks and Recreation Project Fund. It's just in the, I'll be honest with you, that's the judge where that.
I think it's in the LGEA.
So it's set in the LGDA.
but you want beside LGA, you want its own little fund, and it should say 250 right now.
That's right. That
And then-
balance is 250.
and then it'll- yeah.
This year's budget, and then whatever we decide to put in for the next year's budget, it would be that. Just like, those other accounts, they go up and down and when it comes in, it goes down. It's like your road fund, you have a dollar amount for your road, put in there every year. So, let's put that, we are in the building year, is the way I'm looking at it, for a future project. I can't tell you if that's 1 year, 2 years, 4 years away, but I just think if we address a big project, it'd be nice to know that those funds are there. I think it's a little easier for everybody to digest and say, oh, after $1 million project, that's $1 million. Yeah, but we've been funded for the past 3 or 4 years, we have X amount of dollars set aside for that.
So what action do we need?
I I think Judge is looking to see how much y'all want to fund that in the next budget year, what his request is.
I'd like to see us fund it 500,000 this year. Be my recommendation.
Did we put in 250 last year?
This fiscal year, there's 250 in this. What he's asking for is next budget year, which will start June 1st.
July 1st.
I'm sorry, July 1st. Yes, July 1st. And did you hear what Tyler said?
Yeah, I heard.
Tyler said 500.
Yeah, he's raised it. I voted no on 250.
We behind Robert Earl. We're years behind on doing something. We gotta move forward.
Well, I agree with you, but we got to pay the bills too.
This year'd be a year to do it. We got so much free money.
Yeah. Got some extra money coming in this year.
I think we all need to speak our piece, not put any hardship on the judge or the budget or anybody else. I mean, Tyler said what he.
I voted yes in support of it, but I don't know about going from 250 to 500,000.
That's what I'm thinking.
You voted no for the 250.
I voted no for 250, right?
You got a year to
You
make
know,
up.
Yeah.
You got a makeup year. Got it. It's time to redeem yourself.
I would feel a whole lot better about this if we, worked with the city somehow instead of trying to be in competition with them and then,
Well, can it be postponed until July till you know what the budget is then?
we can not fund it and see what the carryover money is, if y'all rather do that right now.
What was that statement, Judge?
He said we could not fund it and see what the carryover
See what
is.
carryover dollars in, then make an amendment to the budget.
No.
We got a lot of things, promising in next year's budget. One of them's that $300,000 toward those bridge projects.
I understand, but I do not see that we have, and I consider myself a conservative person, but I do not see that we have financial instability that we cannot fund projects such as this. I mean, we gave 400, just in our last time we dealt with salaries, we gave $438,000 in pay raises that were continual year after year after year on top of what we give just in CPI increases. And I was 150% for that. It needed to be done, and, when you're sitting here with a $22 million budget, you get $16 million sitting in cash, it's hard to say you can't afford it. I mean, we had $6 million sitting in our pension. We took in $1.7 million in CARES money. I just don't see how we cannot afford to fund that. And that's not even a commitment to spending money. It's just setting money aside.
Well, the guy told me this the other day, and I thought this was funny. He said, you'll do good on fiscal court if you vote no on everything comes up unless you're up for a raise, said they vote yes. That's what he told me.
Let's make some action on it. What are we gonna do?
Well, I'm happy with anything. I'm happy with anything up to 500,000. As Tyler suggested, if we're not spending the money, I think at some point the number is irrelevant. I think $3 million $100,000 project came along, and the court was in support of it, we could afford to do it even if we did a bond release. That's not the issue. The issue of the court is, are we willing to set aside money for a future project, whether it's $250 or $500? I think that shows a commitment to our constituents that we're willing to at least pre-fund the project when and if one comes up.
Well, is the court willing in any way to work with the cities? Because that's going to be something that could come up in the common ground maybe.
I don't think that's a discussion for what we need to do for setting aside money for future projects. I don't want to be stronghold to what I will or will not do with the city, because I don't know what they're talking about doing. I don't want to say yes, and I don't even know what we're talking about doing with the city.
Okay, well, let's get through this and then I kind of bring that up as a post agenda because we've got a common ground meeting coming up.
Last time, say that we were willing to pre-fund a future prospective project and when and if one comes up, and I'd like to see us continue down that road. Now, would I like to see that 250 increase? Yes, I didn't ask for 250 last time. I think I asked for more than that, but I think 250 shows that, and I know some people voted on it, it's okay, but it's an easier pill to digest even if you do decide to make that commitment. The money's there.
I don't have a problem with setting the money aside for a project with another entity like the city or with any of the cities or anything that's already established. My no on it is I don't want to go in competition with them or start my own park. I don't, that's my no. I don't mind spending the money to help someone out. My no is I don't want to go and try to build my own park and be in competition. If Auburn come up and wanted something, I would probably support it if I thought strongly about it and it would help the people. If Russell City and County, it's a county city park, if they come up and wanted to increase 20 acres to do whatever on it, I thought it was feasible that people will enjoy it, I would be for that. I'm not in favor of going and buying 200 acres of land and starting my own park. I mean, that's my no. I mean, my no on that is for that reason. I'm not no that I don't want to spend money and do something for the county. I just don't want to be a solo project with the county in a park system. So that's where I stand from. I'm not for not spending money because I said, I can't believe you don't want to spend no money for a splash pad. Well, I don't care. I'll spend some of your taxpayers' money. It's not my money. It's mine to vote, but it's the taxpayers' money to do something if I see that it's really going to benefit the community. And if the money, I understand what Thomas is, it's sort of set, you got your account here that said, you know, okay, this is what I want to do, and we have the money. It's a whole lot easier to stroke that check than it is to try to take it out of LGA or whatever it's in. But at the end of the day, the money's either sitting here in this account drawing no interest, or it's sitting over here drawing no interest. The money's there, but I understand where it's coming from.
I think one thing we have to know before we can even have a conversation about joining the city or, you know, we've got to know what their determination is or what their outcome is or their outlook. What's their budget? How much money are they planning on spending on parks, and how much money do they have to maintain a park? Do they have the staffing? Have they cut staffing in the past to where, you know, they're not having as much staff or whatever on maintaining the park? Or budget-wise, are they putting more money in? You know, are they, if we're going down the path with another entity or a city, I just think that we have to know that we're going to progress and we're going to keep it that way, and we're going to maintain it, and we're going to do it well, and not, you know, I just don't want to be like, okay, you can do this Clover Ball Park field that's going to oh, you know, in your area, and here you go, here's the money. We got to make sure that they have the means or the personnel or the budget to take care of what we're putting money into. We don't want to put money into, you know, a real nice thing, and then it, you know, well, city or whoever don't have the money in their budget to maintain it, or that's just not the direction that their body of government is going, and which is perfectly fine.
If we do it on our own, we've got to come up with all of that, 100%.
Yeah.
The county, if the county
Right,
does it.
right.
I mean, we're going to accept all of them
Yeah.
responsibilities that you mentioned. Do we have the budget to do it? Do we have the manpower to do it?
Right. But we just have to me, I think, before we invest money into what I would think would be something a lot greater than what we currently have to offer, and I don't know what the reason of that is. Is it because of lack of budget? But we just have to, you know, if we're going to have that conversation of joining with the city, we've got to sit down with them and say, hey, if we do this type of project, how much money in your budget can you afford to maintain it, and you know, and if not, you know, if they can't, or if their body of government does not, you know, want to do that or go that direction, or as aggressive as what I guess I'm thinking, then we wouldn't want to go down that partnership. You know what I'm saying? If it's not, if we're not on the same page, so we just have to have that conversation.
I mean, like right now, we contribute $25,000 to them. We might have to contribute $50,000 a year to help them make up the slack on labor or something.
Well, it might be 100,000.
Yeah, it might be 100,000. The only thing I don't want to see us do is spend $2 or $3 million on a project that's going to cost us $500,000-$600,000 a year just to maintain.
Okay. I thought about this, I thought you back. I thought about this one very said, what Mama said. Right now, I'm after going out and spending $2 million building a different park. I'd just like to up it a little and give each park in the whole county the same amount of money, the same amount, and stipulate that it strictly has to be used for the park. In other words, they can't pay the police out of it, nobody else. So if you give each one of them 75,000, it would have to be used for their park, but I would be for every park equal, don't matter if it's a Durable or Auburn or Russell. Now that's what I'd be for.
So, two comments that I'll make about that, Mr. Kyle. I'd support you 100% in that. But those are two separate issues. It's just kind of like when I first came on board, Judge had a passion about increasing what was given to the volunteer fire departments. And that, I mean, we drastically increased that year after year after year after year till it properly got to a good number. So our administration, because of not having the money, the county did not have the money to give volunteer fire departments no more than what we were given. But we were very fortunate that administration passed a occupational tax license, and when Judge Chick took over, he quickly moved to get that to where it should be. I agree with you, we do not contribute enough money out of our budget to the city parks. We don't do it, okay? That should be shored up to an appropriate number, but that has nothing to do with this number. Those are two different subjects. So if y'all want to say, let's quit giving the cities pennies, because it's really what we're giving, we're throwing pennies at them, and you want to say, let's start giving them $100,000 a piece, or whatever that number is, you know, let's have that conversation. This is a separate fund for a future specific project yet to be determined. Okay? So I just want to separate those two. I don't want to lump those in together.
Yeah,
if we want to give the city parks more money, I will support that 150%, because I know every single one of them, especially Lewisburg, sure could use it. You know, their park could use a big upgrade, and if you send them $100,000, I think that would go a long way in making that park a better park, okay? But that's a different conversation about what, it's being asked right here is, do we want to fund a future project? Yet to be determined, and that yet to be determined, I'm not prepared to go into a conversation about it. And I've spent a bunch of time studying and researching. It's like, you know, I just wouldn't want to say, hey, I want to do this, or I want to do this with somebody else. I understand what Barry's saying, and I'm not here to say I don't want to support that. I might, but we're going to have some more conversation about it. You know, I don't know what that is, how we're going to do it, how do we judge the success of it, and how do we monitor it moving forward. I'm not for throwing money at an entity and saying, hey, I support you, you know, and then have to listen to feedback that our park systems in the county are crap. Right now, I've got this trump card that says, not my problem, I write them a check, and they do what they want to, they're called the deed. It's convenient for me, but it's not fair for my constituents who are in favor of the parks department. You know, you have half the people that are telling you, quit writing those cities a check, because apparently it's not being put to good use because we're not happy with the parks department. Well, that's just half of it. The other half are happy with the parks department. So we just need to be careful, not just throwing money at something and say, hey, it's not our problem. We wrote them a check. You know, we wrote them a check, not our problem. And we wrote them such a little check, nobody questions us about it now. You know, we've seen $18,000 to them. Nobody's supposed to send us, but we just don't send no money out. And if we start writing $100,000 checks, each one of those cities, then they're gonna fuss at us. You know, hey, you gave them $100,000, I don't see any improvement.
Well, we have increased, you know, since me and you've been on the board.
We increased that.
And got them requesting it for a project.
Requested for a project.
And a couple of the parks didn't even come and ask for theirs last year.
And there's what I would have to say, but I didn't want to bring that up in open court. But that's the reason I'm against, at the moment, what Barry is suggesting. There's money there available, and we've only had one time somebody come and ask for it. So what is that governing body's interest in moving forward? I have a concern with that. And I want to send them more money. I'm not down.
I'm not either, unless it's a project, but you did, see, Thomas, I love you, honey. But you just said that when Judge come on, we had to put in an occupational tax because we wasn't paying the bills.
No, I said the prior administration.
I know, prior, we had to emphasize a tax to create money, and I just very cautious. I'm thankful for the ones that done that. You were sitting on it, whoever was sitting on it, it was before my time. And that's why I'm sitting here. I'm giving back because somebody gave to me, and I'm gonna make the best decision I can.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do too, that's the reason I
And-
don't want to get committed to a project, another entity, another governing body.
Until we know they're-
All of that.
yeah.
I will sit down with me and everybody and work with them 100%. I'm like you, Barry, I'm gonna make the best decision that's right for the community, and that will be successful, and that we'll be all proud of.
Well, I think this is still all new to, I mean, this is news that we're starting to talk about it, and, you know, I think the rest of the court might be more comfortable if we just stay at 250 this time, we just do 250 again. I mean,
There's a couple
okay.
projects coming up that'll probably be presented to us in the future, and I just don't want to short a project that we could help on because, you know, hey, we put 500 in that, we probably can't do as much on the next project. But I mean, I'm cool at 250.
If, and this is, we gotta go last time, but is this fund for If something big comes up that somebody wants to invest in and they need some money and it's for the community, is it gonna come out of this fund or is this for a solo project only?
I think that's at the board's discretion.
It's our vote.
I think either, Larry. I think if somebody came up there and, you know, had something that I don't know about, maybe y'all know something that I don't know, but I did miss a phone call while I was on vacation, so I can imagine there's one there that somebody's gonna be requesting, just because that's the only time I get a phone call from them, is when they have money. So, but that's okay, nothing wrong with that, but you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that could be either or. It could be a one future project that we predetermine, or if somebody else out in the community comes to us and says, hey, I want to build a jungle gym down here at the Russellville Logan County Park, and it's $85,000. And we sit there and say, okay, yeah, we'll support that. That seems like a good thing. We can take it wherever. I mean, look at your financial statement.
I know, but it's hard to take it out of, I know, but, I just asked you a point blank question. I mean, if
I think
it,
it could be either or.
I said this same thing last year. I mean, we're not spending no money, and you said it too, we're just moving it. And it makes it easier when we do, or if we do. And we're still in control of it, it's still gonna take.
We moved $1.7 million last quarter, because we wanted it in the line items where it belonged. Hey, we got reimbursed $1.7 million in cash money, let's move this amount to the jail, let's move this amount to the general, this amount to where, I can't remember where all we moved it, I have to look at my report, but you know what I'm saying, we put it in the right thing. It's just a future project.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care either, but, I mean, I'm still going to be for a project that goes down the path of where we started, which was when we asked constituents, the WKU, you know, what our constituents wanted, what they'd like to see more of, you know, and the top 4 things were walking trails, nature trails, splash pad, amphitheater, and gym facility, and
and I'm
Phoenix
not for
Park.
the gym facilities and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm just not, we're not Bowling Green, we can't have what they have.
We're not trying to be Bowling Green, but we need to, if there's families and kids that are wanting to get out there and play ball, why do we want them to have to drive to Bowling Green and stuff every time, or to Muhlenberg County? Why are we letting those people get the traffic and get their local businesses taking the money and their hotels, and you know, I mean, we're missing out on some of that. I mean, we have a young community that wants stuff like that, and you know, I'll keep trying to drive it, and y'all can shut it down, but I'll keep trying to drive it. So.
This is 2 different
If
entities.
you're not careful, everybody's gonna be driving a wedge in everybody else's program. Where is the most closest to the center of Logan County? Where's that spot?
That would be the Russellville City Park. I mean, that's what you're talking about? Like,
Just
To the center of Logan County.
where's the center of
well, Russellville's the seat of Logan County.
It's Russellville.
Yeah.
Russell's it.
I was thinking from Auburn, Lewisburg, to Maryville.
Pretty close.
I've always had a feeling that we ought to have some property that would be suitable.
We sit here for a long time talking about what we're going to do. It just takes a day. If we could just agree to fund it again, and then when the budget comes out, I'd like to see its own title line item, just like we added federal grants, you know. And it could be under LGA. I don't have a problem.
Well, I think you asked last year for it to be put in its own fund, so it'd be,
That would be great, that way it's purposeful, you saw it every month, you know it's there.
and the reason we couldn't do that last year, when you said that, was because we had about 8 meetings there to try to get the budget approved and all that stuff. And we didn't have time.
I guess hearing everybody talk, are we okay doing another 250?
Yeah.
I'll put that in form of motion, Judge, to, next year's budget, create that line item, with the 250 that was saving this year's, and then the 2021, 22 budget, we do another 250,000.
I'll second it.
Okay, y'all heard the motion. We got a second. I'd love to see the budget put together and see what we have myself, before we made that determination, but we needed a number to put in there. Okay, no other comments? Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes. I might as well look at camera again.
Harper,
Yes.
Thank you.
Kyle,
Mine is.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote yes this time, and that just gets it over, because when it comes up, that don't mean you have to vote yes then.
Hey.
Whatever problem.
Amen.
So we're switching money from one place, putting it to another. I'll vote yes this go.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
I'm gonna vote against it right now until we get the full budget.
Well, that's what. Hell was the money, this is all this.
Judge voted no.
Who did?
No. Did he say,
yes.
You
Yeah.
voted yes, didn't you?
No,
Oh,
He
okay.
voted no. It's the only vote no.
I want to see the whole budget before.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, we didn't spend it, we just moved it, so.
But the motion passes. Okay, next item of business is to approve the county road aid corporate program agreement and resolution for fiscal year 21-22 in the amount of $1,564,032.93. And the motion needs to be, that if we agree to do it, is pass the agreement and the resolution. We do this every year. Basically, what it is, we participate in emergency money.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question. And that motion is to approve the agreement and the resolution.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No question. Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Next item of business is to approve a contract with DC Elevator for examination lubrication agreement with, at the Justice Center.
So moved. Jack seconded it.
Jack, second?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was waiting for a second. I didn't hear that. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle, Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Post agenda, I'll go back. Are y'all willing to have a conversation working with the city at the common ground meeting and see what they would kind of, I've talked to the mayor, but the mayor said that would be a council decision, and that same way here.
Working with them on what? What are we talking about?
On park improvements.
On the 21st? I mean, I'm not against having that conversation, but I don't want to put it above, before I don't know how much time is being allotted, but I don't want to put it before the contractor licensing board and the permit.
Well, of course, first thing on that contractor license and all that stuff, Thomas, we got to come to an agreement. You know, yeah, we're willing to work together. And then there'll be, several other little meetings on how to set it up, who's gonna finance it. You know what I'm talking about, you know, how's it gonna be financed?
I don't want to take up, that common ground, there's only 2 hours allotted for it. I mean, I don't want to put the parks thing first.
Well, I'm talking about the licensing.
How
first.
hard would it be to scan all that stuff in every time?
This stuff?
Yeah, it'd be accessible
Oh, yeah.
for everybody. Is that
Okay, is there any other post agenda?
Yes. Wait a minute, what'd you say?
He's wanting to make no, we can't resign yet, or whatever it's
Yeah, I
called.
got a post agenda item.
I thought you said motion to adjourn.
No, he said you have a post agenda.
Oh, that sounds like motion to adjourn.
Judge, I'd like to go into, executive closed session under the KRS doing the,
Property and,
there you go. What Jason said.
Okay,
I don't know the
Deliberations
number.
on the future acquisition
Let me look it
sale,
up.
that one?
Yes. Janice got,
no, I didn't know if
I've got it here, it's
You could, like, keep all
KRS
this in, like, a Google
61.8101B.
That's what we do at the school
Yeah.
board.
could the IT, one of them.
One B, right?
The IT don't.
KRS 61.810 one B.
Secretary just
So
does
you
it,
want
puts
to
it
make a
on
motion
right
that we
now.
go into closed session?
yes, sir.
That closed session consists of deliberations of future acquisition or sale of real property.
Yes, sir.
I'll second.
Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport?
Yes.
Crossley? Wright?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Kyle? Bolden?
Yes.
Chick?
Yes. Okay, let's go in closed session. So turn it off, Tyler.
Logan, that's where you're going, that man's field is.
Oh, what was your post agenda, Barry?
Yeah, whenever Janice is ready.
Okay, any more post agenda?
Yes, sir. Mr. Hall wanted me to make sure that we were gonna stick with our ordinance on the requirement setbacks on the solar farm. And, we put that into an ordinance, and so that's the way it's gonna stick, right? There's no way to get around that. I mean, what we put in the ordinance is what it'll have to be, correct?
Unless we get,
Unless somebody brings it before the court, and this court or a future court changes
Changes it.
the ordinance. You can't-
But as of right now, this is the guidelines that they go by. Okay.
And
I told him I would ask.
if it hadn't been for that ordinance, they'd have went by whatever the state had set up.
I think the
mean,
state was.
that project was gonna be there. They'd already leased the land.
I think.
Yeah, and we increased, everybody said we.
I did grab a snap.
We closed the ordinance, I mean, the footage down, but we increased the
Right.
footage instead of drawing it up. So
We either went from 25 or 50 foot to 100.
Yeah, we went to 100.
I know we went to 100, but I was thinking
Yeah,
it was 25.
we improved as far as what could have happened, as far as the distance from the solar farm or where it could be on somebody else's property, next to somebody's property.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to straighten that up. I think there was some confusion on feedback about that, but as of right now, our ordinance that we passed is standing and it is more than what was requested. We increased it. Okay, that's all I have.
Hey, I sent y'all a copy of that. We won't talk about it today, but that park planning quotes, if y'all want to just keep looking at them, we can talk about them next meeting.
I make a motion, please.
Second.
Got a motion to adjourn in a second. Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley, Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle, Holden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.